Hi all, thanks for joining this webinar. Whoever attending this in Zoom, whoever attending in YouTube, thanks for your time. Before we get into the presentation, let me just take a couple of minutes to introduce myself. I am CA N. Raja, Chartered Accountant by qualification and a teacher by passion. So just a day before completing my Chartered Accountancy, I had the opportunity of being placed in India's largest commercial bank. I joined SBI as credit analyst, worked as credit analyst for 1 year, then got elevated as team leader, credit processing cell, worked on 250 plus projects, 5,000 crore plus size, then came out and started my CA practice, had practice for 7.5 years with focus on project funding, debt arrangement, debt syndication. Parallelly, I pursued my passion is teaching. So I started teaching financial management, strategic financial management for students in and around here in Ernakulam, Kerala. Then I explored, or I should say I leveraged technology. Thanks to technology, today I could teach several thousands of students. As on the date of recording, it's 1,80,000 plus students all over the world. That's the opportunity technology gave me, and that's why we are also interacting now. On the personal note, I am father of 2 children, happily settled in God's own country, Kerala. In this presentation, I'll try to cover the concept of working capital, covering the why of working capital, why what, then we'll also understand working capital cycle, what are the sources available for funding working capital, and if time permits, we'll go deeper into the fund-based and non-fund-based working capital products. One assurance I can give you is I'll try to cover fund-based working capital products as much as possible. And if time permits, I'll take you through non-fund-based. Okay. So this is the context I want to set. So whether everything is clear, the audio, video, shall we start now? Just type start so that we'll take off. Just type start so we'll take off. I request all of you to type because it's basically to ensure that we are connected, not because there can be a problem on your side, but because there can be a problem on my side. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So in order to make you to understand this concept of working capital, I'm sorry, I'm going to start with a negative question. I'm going to start with a negative question. The question is this: why business fail? Okay, put yourself into the shoes of an entrepreneur or put yourself into the shoes of a banker and just have a look at those businesses which have failed. Okay, in your experience, you would have come across some business which had undergone failure, or you would have heard some stories from entrepreneurs why they failed. Okay, now try to put them. Okay, we'll try to put them and let's bring it out. Let's bring it out. Okay, so just type out why a business could fail. If at all a business fails, why? Whoever have attended my earlier webinars, they'll know like what's going to be the flow. But others, please type why a business could fail. What could be the reason when a business will fail? Yeah, Sandosh is saying lack of knowledge. Ankur is saying underestimation of working capital needs. Anurag is saying lack of experience. Obstruction in operating cycle. That's from Krishnagiri. Javan is saying lack of planning. Perfect. Pandu is saying failure to manage working capital. Good. Yeah, I could see things are pouring. Yeah. Let's maintain this energy. Let's maintain this energy. Failure to understand the market trend. That is from Anurag Singh. Sunil Rana is saying poor management. Rishabh is saying it can be on account of many factors, internal and external. I agree fully. Ankur is saying diversion of funds for personal consumption. Okay, so there can be various factors. There can be various factors like this. Yeah. So let me put them. Yeah, here on YouTube also I could see Sidhu saying lack of planning. Rajiv is saying improper management. Okay, so let's bring all over here. So it can be on account of marketing, it can be on account of competition, quality, not doing enough R&D, then not updating your technology, not managing your HR, human resources effectively, not giving due attention to the pricing, Then even the legal problems can come in. Then Ratan is saying bad credit policy. Yeah, I agree. See, all these are all reasons they can pull down a business. But a study was conducted, uh, and let's say 100 failed units were selected, and they were asked what is the reason. So reasons like this came up, like poor marketing, technology, pricing, legal, competition, everything. But the stunning fact is all these reasons collectively contributed only to 5% failure of business. That is, if 100 failed units were selected, of that only 5 units failed on account of this or these many reasons collectively. It means remaining 95% business units, they failed on account of one single factor, that is financial mismanagement. And when we go deeper into financial mismanagement, it can be on account of diverting short-term funds for long-term purpose, or it can be on account of not managing their working capital. So the financial mismanagement can be intentional or unintentional. And when the working capital is not managed effectively, it could result in financial mismanagement, and those companies, they get into that trap of 95%. So in that context, it becomes very, very important to understand what is working capital, to effectively manage working capital. Otherwise, businesses will get into the trap of 95%. Okay, so this is the backdrop. With this, let's move on to understand what is working capital. For that, I'm going to take you through a small example. Let's say I'm going to start a business, and this business demands an investment of 10 crore. And why I need this 10 crore? I need this 10 crore to invest in land and building 4 crore, plant and machinery 5 crore, and furniture and fixture 1 crore. So totally 10 crore. I'm investing on these items. I'm going to call these items as assets because I'm going to own that. And for funding these assets, I am bringing money. When I bring money as the owner, it will be called as capital. So I'm bringing a capital of 10 crore that is used for creating these many assets. And capital comes under the head called equity and liabilities. So this is looking like a statement. And if you look at the total, both sides, the total is also balancing. So we can give a name for this statement. It's simple. The name of the statement is balance sheet. So this balance sheet communicates from where money had come for the business. The money of 10 crore had come for this business from the owner. That's why it is called as capital. Had it come from outsiders, had it come from bankers, it would have been classified as loan. Okay, but it had come from owners, so it is classified as capital. And that money is used for what purpose? Land and building, plant and machinery, furniture and fixture. It means now I have an amazing factory, all plant and machineries and furniture and fixtures. It means I have set up or created a basic infrastructure. I have created basic infrastructure. Now a customer walks in and he is ready to place an order with me. I have a question for you. Put yourself into this position. You are facing your first customer, and first customer is placing an order. Will you be happy about this? Just say yes or no. If it is no, give your reasons. Javan Singh and Ankur is happy about this. What about others? Rishabh is not happy. But Anurag Singh is happy. Sandeep happy. Pandu is not happy. Siddhu is also not happy. Ankur is not happy because he does not have any product to deliver at this point. Because what is there is only the skeleton, okay, only the structure. Just, yeah, Krishnagiri is saying just setting up will not make the business happen. Rishabh said he is not having money to execute at this point. So yeah, I asked whether you are happy. Some of you said no. I asked why. You gave some reasons. On YouTube, I could see Sidhu is saying that there is no raw material. There are no employees to work. Exactly, I have the same point. There are no raw materials. There are no employees. And Without these, I cannot carry out the production. And without this, how can I execute the order of my first customer? So here what I've done, I had 10 crore. I've invested that entire 10 crore in creating assets, but all those assets are long-term fixed assets. I have not invested in my operational expenses. I have not invested in my raw material, employees, production. It's not happening. So without investing in this, how can I expect those big long-term assets to deliver results for me? See, just imagine you want to purchase a car for taxi business. You do not know how to drive. Just imagine you have 10 lakhs with you. You use that 10 lakhs for purchasing a car. And you don't know how to drive. So you should engage a driver. And if you want to take the car out of the showroom, there should be some minimum fuel. But you don't have even 1 rupee extra because you just had 10 lakhs, you purchased the car. This car will not move even a single inch. Number one, you don't know how to drive. Number two, you don't have any cash to purchase fuel for this car, right? Now listen. Sorry for the interruption. Vibor Agarwal in YouTube, just drop a message after this webinar, okay? Do not send repeated messages now, I request you, okay? Just send message after this webinar so that either me or my executive will get in touch with you. Yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry, I just got disrupted. Yeah, so the question is, this fixed asset, what I have created, will not fetch any revenue for me, will not generate any revenue if I don't invest in that fuel or if I don't invest on the salary of employee. So unless and until I do that, I repeat, unless and until I make that small investment, this big investment will not yield any money for me. It means it's not sufficient just to have long-term capital for long-term asset, but it is also required to have some capital for the short-term assets, say like fuel, say like raw material, say like on investing on employees. So unless and until I do this, this long-term assets will not generate any revenue for me. So I should invest in working assets, not only the long-term assets, I should also invest in working assets. So this boils down to the point that working capital is the capital required for daily working of business. What is working capital? It is the capital required for daily working of business. Okay. Now I got a gyan, the knowledge. What is the knowledge? I cannot run the show just with fixed assets. I should also invest in raw material. I should invest in employees. I should invest in production process. Okay. So I'm going to arrange some cash. I managed. Somehow I arranged some cash. Now what I'm going to do, with this cash, I'm going to purchase raw material. But when I move on to purchase raw material, a question arises. How much raw material I should purchase? Should I purchase raw material just for today's production? Should I purchase raw material for next 5 days, 15 days, 20 days, 30 days? For how many days? See, this actually depends upon various factors. It depends upon availability of raw material. It depends upon the price of raw material. It depends upon for how many days you can store the raw material in good condition, whether the raw materials will get damaged, whether there are any price fluctuations in the market, whether there are any restrictions in holding the raw material, whether holding the raw material beyond a certain level amounts to hoarding. Okay, so it all depends upon various aspects. So inventory management is a special area. Okay, so by applying the inventory management principles, I have to decide on for how many days I have to maintain raw material. Okay, so first my cash will go in purchasing raw material. After that, what will happen? This raw material have to be taken for production. Now the question is, how much time it will take? See, the production process can be a very simple process in some cases. It can be very complex and elongated process in some cases. For example, if you take the garments, from cotton to ultimate garment, it will take substantial period of time because it has to undergo various stages. Whereas in certain cases, if you give the input, you will get the output in a matter of 30 minutes. Okay, so depending upon the nature of your process, the product, the production time will undergo a change. And it is in the production time, you will feed the raw material, you will engage the employees, you will consume power, you will incur various other manufacturing expenses. So with the result of all these efforts, what you will get? You will get finished goods. But again, now the challenge is whether the finished goods will get sold immediately or will it take time? Is it a hot cake or it is going to require some time? It again depends. It depends upon the market. It depends upon the product. It depends upon the demand for the product in the market. It depends upon the marketing efforts, advertising. So many factors play. So finished goods, in certain cases, for example, if you take Royal Enfield two-wheeler Bullet, they don't keep much of inventory because all their finished goods are made to order. Already they would have received an advance payment. So they produce, they immediately dispatch. They produce, they immediately dispatch. Buyers will be paying advance and waiting for months together. But in some cases, in some other brands, they'll produce, they'll keep it on display, they'll keep it in various places. Okay, they'll have stalls, they'll have promos everywhere. Okay, they'll give chance to the people to have the feel of the product. So till the ultimate buyer buys, the product will be either in display or in showroom. So depending upon the product, depending upon the various factors, finished goods will also be there. Okay, then eventually a buyer, a customer will be identified and it will be sold. But that customer may pay immediately, or that customer may be a customer demanding credit period. That customer can be a customer demanding credit period. So if that customer demands credit period, then only on the expiry of the credit period, whatever the cash you have invested in raw material will come back to you. But of course, when it comes back, it will come back with profit. So what is happening here? I realized that investing in fixed assets alone not sufficient. I should also invest in working assets. So I managed to arrange some cash. I invested in raw material. Then I waited for some days. Then I've taken that to production where that raw material. Then I also invested on some employees. Then it had become finished goods. I thought I'll get back my money, but the finished goods got locked for some time. Then eventually I identified a customer, but the customer is not ready to pay immediately. He needs some time, and only after that money is coming back to me. So what is happening here? The cash what I had went and logged in material. For how many days? I'm going to assume that in material it got locked for 30 days. Then from there, it was taken for production. Let's say my production process is 15 days. So what is happening? 30 plus 15, 45 days, my money is not going to come. Okay, then it had eventually become finished goods. But finished goods, it's not going to get sold immediately. Let's say it's going to take another 15 days time. It means 60 days my money is locked. Then I identify a customer. Customer purchased my goods, but customer is saying he will pay me after 30 days. So what's happening? 60 plus 13, 90 days. So the cash what I have invested in raw material, it will come back to me after various stages, after various further investment on the 90th day only. Okay, now answer me. The cash what I have invested now, when it is coming back to me, it's a simple calculation, but I request all of you to answer this. I had invested cash today, 0. It is coming back to me on 90th day. Okay, please all of you participate. It is coming back to me on 90th day. Now the second set of raw material purchase, when can I make? When can I make my second set of raw material purchase? Because my cash had gone out now, it's going to come back only on 90th days. So when can I make my second set of raw material purchase? It is 91st day. Yeah. When will I get back that money? When will I get back that money? 180th day. Okay, it will come back to me on 180th day. Right. When can I make my third purchase of raw material? 181st day. Okay, it's a simple calculation, but keep participating. When will I get back that money? On 270th day. And when can I make my fourth purchase? 271. And when will I get back that money? When will I get back that money? 360 days. Simple. It means how many times I can purchase in a year? How many times I can purchase in a year? 4 times. How many times I can sell in a year? 4 times. How many times I'm going to realize money in a year? 4 times. So look, what is happening here? I had money, I invested that in raw material, then taken for production, converted that into finished goods, sold to a customer, and customer is paying cash, and that cash is coming back on the 90th day. So on 91st day, I'm going to purchase like this, and if I'm going to do this, I will be repeating the cycle only 4 times in a year. But whether I can afford to tell my employees that, see, I'm going to get cash only 4 times in a year. You also take salaries only 4 times in a year. Is it possible? Can I say so? Because I'm going to get money only 4 times in a year. So can I tell my employees that please take salary only 4 times in a year? No. Yes, because expenses will be recurring, it will be fixed. Salary you have to give 12 times. And if it is wages means then weekly 54 times or 52 times. So understand, we cannot survive in this pattern. When I invest my cash in raw material, when I do this today, I should also purchase raw material at frequent intervals so that I can have continuous production. I should not be waiting for the 90th day to purchase my second set of raw material on 91st day. If I go to the supplier and introduce myself on 91st day, he will ask me, who are you? But even more than that, I cannot sell only 4 times in a year. Yeah. If I want to sell a product in a market, I have to make such a noise in the market. I have to establish myself as a seller, and I should be available to sell my products on a daily basis. I cannot afford to sell my products only 4 times in a year. If I go to a market only 4 times in a year to sell my product, no one will agree me as a seller. No one will buy my product. So what is the message? Things should happen continuously. So when I invest my cash in raw material and when I go cash dry, I need money once again so that I can purchase my next set of raw materials. I should not wait for 90 days. When I invest my cash in my production and when I go cash dry, I need some other source to support me so that I can have continuous production process. I should not wait for 90 days. Similarly, when my money gets logged with finished goods, customers, I should not be waiting for 90 days. I should get some cash as and when this lockage happens so that my business works on a continuous basis. Cash flows happens on a continuous basis. So what's happening here? Have a look at it. I'm creating raw material, work in progress, finished goods, receivables. In all this, my money is getting locked. Okay, it means basically I'm creating some set of assets here, right? So I wish to call these assets as current assets because I can convert these assets into cash within a period of 1 year. Okay, so that gives the understanding, that gives rise to the understanding current assets are those assets which can be converted into cash within a period of 1 year. The technical definition says it can be converted into cash within a period of 1 year or within operating cycle. But for creating these current assets, I need sources. I need money. From where I can get source, from where I can get fund for creating these assets. Maybe for raw material, what I can do, I can go and ask my supplier, please give me raw material today, I will pay you on 30th day, like you giving credit to your customer. Okay, so the raw material, it is possible it can be funded by suppliers. I've just classified it as sundry creditors. Similarly, work in progress, finished goods, receivables, where my money is getting locked, right? I can approach a bank. I can approach a bank and tell them, look, This is my business, this is my operation, I'm getting support for raw material from suppliers, you please help us in uh, you please help us to have continuous production, please help us to fund finished goods receivables. And yes, bankers will come in, through fund based products, non fund based products. Fund based products can be in the form of cash, credit, overdraft and all. So look, I have created various current assets, and these are all funded by the suppliers, bankers, and all these are short-term funds. So since they are short-term funds, I'm going to call them as current liabilities. But still, if you ask me whether all the current assets are funded, no. Look, on the right-hand side, you have so many items, but on the left-hand side, you have only 2 items. So it looks like it is lopsided. It means there is still a gap. So who should fund that gap? See, here you can see there is a gap. Who should fund this gap? Please answer. Who should fund this gap? Very good. Promoters, borrower, they have to fund this gap by bringing suitable long-term funds. And technically, we call that as net working capital. Net working capital is nothing but the difference between the current asset and current liability. So that portion have to be funded by the promoters by bringing adequate long-term funds. So technically, we call it as net working capital. So look what happened here. Look what happened here. Various current assets are being created. And who should fund those current assets? Owners, they have the primary responsibility. Then suppliers can come in to fund creating raw materials. Then sundry creditors can come in. See, who can be sundry creditors? It can be, say, like outstanding salary, outstanding rent, electricity bill not yet paid. So all those can be sundry creditors, right? Then bankers will also fund creating current assets. And how bankers will do? They'll do it in 2 forms. One is fund-based and the other one is non-fund-based. In fund-based, bankers, they give literal cash through bank account, whereas in non-fund based, they don't give any money, they give a letter or a certificate, and that will do the job exactly as what money will do. Okay, so with this, let's get into the core of today's webinar, that is how banks are going to assess working capital requirements of borrower. That's the topic also, right? How to assess working capital as a banker, right? Okay, now listen. See, there are 3 methods for assessing working capital. Turnover method, maximum permissible bank finance method, and cash budget method. What is this turnover method? It's very simple. Knowingly or unknowingly, we have covered it. How? See, we have seen that a cycle. I mean, we started with cash, we invested that in raw material, then it was taken to production, it had become finished goods, then it was sold to customer, then eventually we got the cash. Okay, it is a cycle. Actually, I didn't name that cycle. It's called as working capital cycle. Working capital cycle, or we also call that as cash cycle or operating cycle, cash to cash cycle, right? So in that working capital cycle, what was our core understanding? I mean, the example what I gave, how many days cycle it was? How many days cycle it was? Can you just type your answer? How many days? It was 90 days cycle, 90 days cycle. Okay. And how many cycles we can have in a year? How many cycles we can have in a year? 4 cycle. Okay, right. So there are only 4 cycle. It means each cycle can be expressed as 25%. Yes or no? Because there are only 4 cycles. First cycle 1/4, second cycle 2/4, third cycle 3/4, fourth cycle 4/4. So each cycle is 90 days. So totally 360 days. Take like that. First cycle is 90 out of 360. Second cycle is also 90 out of 360. Third is also 90 out of 360. Fourth is also 90 out of 360. Okay, right. Now, what is this 90 out of 360? How will you express that in percentage? What is 90 out of 360? What is the percentage? Can someone tell me? It's simple. It is 25%. Okay. So the cycle what we have discussed is basically the core foundation of the Nayak committee method of assessment. We also call that method as what? Turnover method. Because the cycle what we discussed said the total days are 90 days. It means there are 4 cycles. So each cycle represent 25%. Okay. That's what Nayak committee also says. Look at this. Nayak committee method assumes 25% of the turnover is working capital requirement of any business. 25% of the turnover is the working capital requirement of any business, but that entire 25% should not be funded by the bank. That is, whatever the figure you get when you express that 25%, of that only 80% should be funded by banks. It means the remaining should be funded by owners. That is the argument under Nayak committee. This method assumes that the business is having only 4 cycles in a year. That's what we discussed in the cash cycle, right? 90 days, 4 cycle. So Nayak committee method assumes that business will have 4 cycles in a year. So their working capital requirement is 25% and bank can give 20% of the turnover as bank finance. And it is the minimum credit within quotes. It's a minimum credit. So what does that mean? It means if the actual working capital cycle of the borrower, if it is not 90 days, please do not harass, please do not penalize the customer by estimating the turnover by taking 90-day cycle. If you do so, you are killing 2 persons. 1, the customer. 2, you are also killing your bank. Why? If a customer is in, let's say, like 120-day cycle, and if you are going to assess him for 90-day cycle, and if you are going to give him inadequate working capital financing, that is the greatest sin you can commit. Under financing, excess financing, both will cause trouble. You have to give what is right financing. Okay. So if a customer is having a 120-day cycle, do not blindly follow the turnover method, because the turnover method says it is only minimum credit. So if a customer is having 120 days, please go and assess based on his actual requirement. How many of you are with me? Just type with you. If you are with me, type with you, because this is the key learning for you from this. Just imagine, based on 120-day cycle, if the customer is in need of 30 lakhs credit facility, and if you are going to give him only 20 lakhs credit facility, the question is, who is going to help him for the remaining 10 lakh? As a banker, you are not doing it, and promoter is also not capable enough to bring that. Then it means that business will starve, then it will face its natural death. Sorry for using all the negative things, but it happens. See, it's like you performing a surgery. Okay, you perform a surgery and you are supposed to give medicine, and when you give medicine, do it holistically. Okay, don't give only 70% medicine and say 30% I don't have powers, or it is outside our reach, outside our sanctioning limit, or you don't have collateral security. I mean, if there is inadequate collateral security, then don't give inadequate loan. Better don't give any loan. Okay, if collateral security is inadequate, please don't give inadequate loan. The only option is either give full or don't give anything. Okay, that will save both. Right. Now, so this is about the first method, that is turnover method. Now, I will take you through the second method, where we compute the maximum permissible bank finance. Second method, where we compute the maximum permissible bank finance. In Nayak committee, what was our understanding? The working capital cycle is assumed as 90 days. Tandon committee says don't make an assumption. You see what is their actual working capital cycle and assess based on their level of operations and activity. And this method comes into picture whenever the limit is greater than 5 crore. But I request you to check with latest policies, procedures now and then, because it's possible that these figures can undergo a change over a period of time. Okay. So Tandon Committee method says, do not assume the cycle as 90 days. You see what is their actual cycle, then arrive at the limit. Okay. So there are basically three methods prescribed under Tandon Committee method, in which we'll ignore the third method because it is not in practice. It was not approved, first of all. So there are two methods. Still, there are banks which compute under both the methods, and whichever is convenient, they sanction. Actually, whichever is lower, they sanction that. Okay, let's see. So there are three methods. We are not going to talk about the third method. See, under first method, how working capital bank finance is assessed. Let's see. Let's say the business creates some current assets. It is funded by other current liabilities, and there is a gap. That gap should be funded by the borrower, and that gap can be funded, the balance portion can be funded by the bank. So look at the focus. Tandon Committee says only the balance residual should be funded by the banker. How? Let the current assets be funded by other current liability. Even after their funding, there will be some gap. Let that gap be funded by promoters by bringing some margin, and residual, if any, should be funded by the banker. Okay, now look at this. So I said there is a gap. I said there is a gap. Now this gap, how promoters should fund? How much of the gap should be funded by the promoters? So that is prescribed under method 1. Method says 25% of the gap, whatever the gap, 25% of it should be funded by the promoters. It means balance can be funded by bank finance, cash credit. That is method 1. It is very liberal method, I would say, because in this method, if you follow this method exactly and if you calculate current ratio, it will be very low. It means it is beneficial for the borrower, but from the banker point of view, it is slightly risky proposition. Whereas in second method, the argument is when you create a current asset, okay, fund some portion with other current liability. There is a gap, agreed. How the gap should be funded, that's where the second method differs from the first method. In second method, the gap funding, working capital gap funding is like this. 25% of the current asset should be brought in by the promoters as margin to fund the gap, and only the balance can be funded by the bankers. I repeat once again, current asset, some portion can be funded by other current liability. There is going to be a gap. This gap got to be funded by promoters. How much? 25% of the current asset should be brought in by the promoters to fund the gap, and there will be something left over. Only that portion can be funded by the bankers. Only that portion can be funded by the bankers. How to understand? Let's have a look at this case. Here, let's ignore this core current asset because it's outside our discussion now. So you are given current assets 100 lakhs, and I'll call this as other current liability, OCL 40 lakhs. We have to compute the maximum permissible bank finance under all the three methods. No, we are going to do only under two methods. So how it will be? Okay, let me just list and I'll explain item by item. Now, what is the current asset? It is 100 lakhs. Okay. What is the other current liability which we discussed, or it is given in the case? What is the other current liabilities? It is 40 lakhs. It means for creating 100 lakh worth of current asset, 40 lakh support or 40 lakh funding has come from other current liability. It means there is a working capital gap of 60 lakhs. Let us also ignore this core current assets now. So there is a gap of 60 lakhs. Now, how this gap should be funded? 25% of the gap should be funded by promoters. So 60 into 25%, that works out to 15 lakhs. That should be funded by the promoters. So there's a gap of 60. Promoters are funding 15. 60 minus 15, what do you get? 45. So this is maximum permissible bank finance under the first method. I would say this is very liberal one, because here the funding is much higher. Because if you look at this, other current liability is 40. This bank finance is also current liability. So if you total these two, 40 plus 45, you get total current liability as 85, whereas total current asset is 100. 100 divided by 85 will give you current ratio. 100 divided by 85, you will get current ratio as 1.18. Current ratio is very low here, because whoever got exposure to banking, they will say minimum current ratio is 1.33, whereas here it is only 1.18. Okay. Then what second method says? Let's see. In second method also current asset is same 100, other current liability is 40. There is a gap of 60. This is working capital gap. Now the question is how this working capital gap should be funded. As per second method, promoter should bring in 25% of not working capital gap, of current asset. So this is current asset, 100 into 25%. So that should be the margin contribution by the promoters. So 100 into 25% gives you that 25. This is the margin. So 60 minus 25, what do you get? 35. So eligible bank finance is only 35, because the gap is 60, but here the promoters are mandated or pressurized to bring in 25, whereas here they are pressurized to bring only 15, whereas here the pressure is more, they are asked to bring more, 25. So as a result, bank finance has come down in second method. So comparatively, the second method is conservative. Now let us calculate current ratio. You are going to have one key learning now. Okay. What is the current ratio? Current asset by current liability. What is your current asset? It is 100. What is your current liability? It is other current liability plus bank finance. It is 40 plus 35, 75. 100 divided by 75. What is the current ratio now? It is 1.33. And what 1.33 communicates? When the current ratio is 1.33, it means there is a 25% contribution by the promoters for creating the current asset. There is a 25% contribution by the promoters through long-term funds for creation of current asset. And this is the reason most of the banks insist a minimum current ratio of 1.33. And that's the reason we say this method is slightly conservative, because when current ratio is 1.33, how much the banker is giving for the same level of current asset, they are giving only 35, whereas here for the same level of current asset, they give 45. But second method has been in practice, it's widely used, and what the borrower is eligible for is only 35. And this also enables the banks to ensure achievement of minimum current ratio of 1.33. So how many of you got this logic? Why banks are insisting on minimum current ratio of 1.33? It's because of this. Because when the current ratio is 1.33, what is the message? The message is there is a 25% contribution of long-term funds by the promoters for build-up of current asset, and that ensures compliance with the Tandon Committee method as well. Okay. So how many of you are finding this useful? If it is useful, just type useful. Thanks a lot. What you have seen now is only the tip of the iceberg. What you have seen now is only the tip of the iceberg. But the best part is you have understood whatever I have explained so far. Thank you very much. The reason why I say it's a tip of the iceberg is because in reality, when you do the credit appraisal, when you do the financial analysis, you have to read balance sheet line by line. You should focus or put your attention on every item in balance sheet. You have to analyze various set of financial ratios. There will be liquidity, solvency, profitability, return on investment ratios, various set of ratios. Then you have to study the cash flow statements in depth. You have to focus on item by item items. You should see where they generated money, where they have used, how they have used. Then you should also study their fund flow statement in depth, and again in between the lines, to identify whether any fund diversion have taken place. Then you should develop special skill for assessing the working capital requirement of the borrower. Here you got to empathize with the borrower, but at the same time you should also protect the bank's interest. Next, you should be able to put up a comprehensive loan proposal if a borrower comes for a term loan for putting up a project, because this requires viability study. You have to look into their repayment capacity, DSCR, fire, break even, sensitivity, and so on. Next, you should also be able to work seamlessly on CMA report, the basic Excel document which captures the past financial data as well as the current estimate and projection. And from this only all kind of analysis will happen. Next, you should be able to arrive at credit risk rating for the borrower. You should be able to come across different types of business entities, business models profile, and you should also be able to understand the forex impact on import export transactions. So what all this means? All this means you got to learn more, right? So how many of you are really ready to learn more? Because once again, I reiterate, what I have showed you today is only tip of the iceberg. So how many of you are interested in learning more? If you are really interested in learning more, if you want to take this journey to the next level, if you want to improve your skills that is required for your job, and that's the fundamental for your banking career, then type ILM. ILM stands for I am interested in learning more. ILM stands for I am interested in learning more. Whoever interested, please type ILM. Thank you very much. Can I have your permission to introduce the courses which I have published for bankers, which will solve all the problems we discussed? If you're permitting me, just type yes. Just type yes. I'll take that as your approval.
Financial and Credit Analysis Mastery Bundle. It's a bundle of courses I have created for financial and credit analysis purposes. To start with, we have course number 1, our bestseller course, Banking Credit Analysis Process. By taking this course, you will get a complete picture of banking credit analysis process, starting with credit analysis, financial analysis, ratios, cash flows, fund flows, working capital, term loan, and so on. It's basically 30 plus sections, 200 plus lectures. This is one of our best selling course and it's included in this package. Then comes course number 2, how to carry out financial analysis as a banker. This course focuses exclusively on financial analysis, covering how to carry out financial analysis through ratios, fund flows, and cash flows. Then we have course number 3, how to carry out term loan appraisal and analysis as a banker. This is a course which is going to take you through the technical process of term loan appraisal and assessment, because here you have to understand the techno-economic viability of the project. You should arrive at the cost of project, means of finance. That requires a different set of approach. You should understand the production factors of a project. You should understand the technical analysis involved in term loan appraisal and assessment, and this course will take you through that. Then we have course number 4, how to prepare CMA report for bank loan. CMA report is basically that Excel spreadsheet which is going to capture the past financials, present, estimate, and future projections. And it's by looking at the indicators generated out of this CMA report, bankers are going to take critical decision. So in this course, through 8 sections, I have covered the CMA report preparation process in depth with an elaborate comprehensive case study. Then we have course number 5, how to read. In this course, I have picked up a real life balance sheet from stock exchange and I have explained in and out of balance sheet reading process. By taking this course, you will develop confidence in reading balance sheet. Then comes course number 6, how to read CIBIL report. By taking this course, you develop the ability to read the CIBIL report, read in between the lines, as well as read each and every line of CIBIL report and frame the credit opinion of the borrower. Then comes course number 7, how to prepare cash budget for bank loans. This course will help you when a borrower approaches you for short-term loans, ad hoc loans, or for letter of credit. So by taking this course, you will get the complete picture of cash budget with exposure to the format and solving real case studies. So it's basically 7 courses which I have and this 7 course package is what I call as Financial and Credit Analysis Mastery Bundle. And the price of this 7 courses works out to somewhere close to 13,000, but I'm going to give it at a discounted price for you today because you have attended this webinar, and the offer price what I give you is 4,990 rupees. Okay, but I'm not going to just stop with this. I'm going to give you more. I'm going to give you a lot more. I'm going to give you lots and lots of bonus. You are going to get course number 8, registration and licenses required to run business in India. It will take you through that entire process. Course number 9, how to carry out credit risk rating for non-trading entities. Course number 10, here you will learn banking credit analysis in depth once again through various case studies. So how many courses now? It's 10 courses of value close to 19,000 rupees, but you are not going to pay that amount. It's same 4,990. It means you get these 3 courses as bonus, but it is not just this. I'm going to give you some more bonus. Course number 11, financial statement analysis, a complete study. Course 12, master class on working capital management. Course 13, accounting and finance for bankers. Course 14, NPM management, a complete study. So how many courses? It's 14 courses of value close to 27,000, but I'm going to give it to you at the same price of 4,990. Not yet over, some more bonus. Here comes course number 15, where you will learn business finance secrets. So you will be wearing the hats of the entrepreneur so that you can understand the business finance secret process. Then comes the next course, finance for non-finance executives. This will be your savior if you are from non-finance background. Then we have the next course, basics of forex management, a complete study. This will save you if you're going to deal with import export customers. So how many courses now? It's 17 courses of value close to 33,000, but I'm offering it to you at the same price of 4,990. Not yet over, some more bonus. Here comes course number 18 for you, which is legal and regulatory aspects of banking, part 1 and part 2. And I'm also going to give you a course on accounting basics in 66 minutes and a course on fair practices code on lenders liability. So how many courses now? It's 21 courses of value close to 37,000, but I'm going to give it to you at the same price of 4,990. It means you get all these free, you get all these as bonus. But bonus not yet over, some more. You have the next course, that is basic elements related to bank loan proposal. This course will teach you how to write bank loan proposal. Then there is a course on credit policy, products, delivery, appraisal, risk and rating. Then you get access to the course called export finance, priority sector lending and retail loan. And you also get access to the course collateral securities, a comprehensive study. So how many courses? It's basically 25 courses, of which the 7 courses are main courses and I'm giving you bonus. All the remaining courses comes to you as bonus because you have attended this webinar. So what is the overall value? The overall value is close to 45,000 of 25 courses. It's 3,200 plus lectures. You are going to get lifetime access to all these pre-recorded courses. You can access them in your mobile app in desktop, and the price is close to 45,000, but you are going to get it for same 4,990, and it is not yet over, something more. I'm going to give you access to ebooks on current ratio, debt equity ratio, cash flow statement, capital structuring, financial break-even, capital budgeting. So it's basically 12 ebooks you are going to get access. And I'm also going to give you access to certain e-resources. You will get access to project report template, CMA template. You will also get access to a template which you can use for planning your child's future education. And you will also get audiobook on types of financing. You will also get access to test series related to analysis of financial statements, working capital requirements and ratio analysis. And something more, you will also get access to career guidance material which is related to professional courses for banking executives and a material on all about certified credit professional. So It's basically 25 courses of value close to 45,000, 3,200 plus lectures, 20 ebooks and resources of value close to 2,000 rupees. You get lifetime access for these pre-recorded courses and e-resources. You can access them in mobile app, desktop, laptop. Its value is close to 47,000, but you are going to get it today for 4,990 only. This is a one-time opportunity for you. Make use of this opportunity. Enroll now.
So thanks for this opportunity. I'm going to share the link. Please check your chat section. Whoever watching this in Zoom, check your chat section. Whoever watching this in YouTube, check the chat section as well as description below. I'm placing the link now, and this link is valid only for next 20 minutes. So if you want to continue your learning journey, if you want to take it to the next level, if you want to make best use of this opportunity, your time is on now. It's going to be next 20 minutes. I'll stay back, and whoever enrolls now, I'll be calling out each and every participant's name. I'll be giving my live acknowledgement and assurance. I want to ensure this entire process happens transparently. So if you believe that this webinar has added value for you, and if you want to continue your learning journey, now the ball is in your court. Please click on the link. It will take you to the course. If you already have a student account in CA Raja classes, directly you can enroll. Otherwise, it will prompt you to open up a student account, and then you can complete the enrollment registration process. Let me also share some of the feedback given by our earlier students. Just have a look at it. If you still wonder whether you should enroll in this package or not, just look back your past 60 plus minutes you have spent. Just try to answer all the 4 questions. Question 1, did you really understood what was explained? If answer is yes, whether you are able to relate with the things that were explained in this webinar. If answer is yes, if you derived value in the 60 plus minutes, and if answer is yes, and if you had that aha moment or bulb on moment that you have learned something really meaningful, useful, then I would suggest go and enroll confidently, because you will get that throughout this package, throughout the courses. That's the assurance from my side. If you have this question as to how you can access these courses, just have a look at the screen. If you enroll now, you can access them in desktop, laptop by visiting our portal. You can also install our app. We have app for Android phone users as well as iPhone users. You can download the app from Play Store, App Store. Just search for CA Raja classes. And the courses, whatever you enroll, will be available in the app also. And the best part is you can download the courses into your mobile within the app, and you can access them later even without internet connection. After enrolling the course, if you have some doubts or if you need some guidance, we are going to provide you 24/7 lifetime support through our Telegram community. We have a community for financial analysis where 1,000 plus bankers have already signed up. This is only for paid students who are coming to this specific course. You can ask all your questions and you will get reply. You can also learn from question answers of other participants. I'm also sharing the screenshot of our Telegram community. You will get access to this community once you enroll in this course. You can make use of this community for clarifying your day-to-day doubts in banking, credit analysis, and financial analysis. And more than 1,400 bank executives are part of this community. They are learning through this community on a daily basis by asking their day-to-day doubts, and many others also learn from that. So now it's time for you to make use of this opportunity. And before you take that final decision, let me give you a bold assurance. My bold assurance is, if you are going to commit your money in this course, that is, if you're going to invest your hard-earned money on this course,
I'm giving you an assurance that it will give you at least 100 times value back. That's the assurance I'm giving. That's backed by the solid and sound feedback given by our existing students. Most of our students have come back to me saying that they got their promotions, they cleared their credit examinations, and they were able to do their credit related job with utmost confidence. So it's because of such a feedback I'm giving you this high level of assurance. And for you, this is not an expense, rather an investment. And what you're going to get is lifetime access to the courses, lifetime Q&A support through our Telegram community. You will not find such an opportunity or such a platform anywhere or elsewhere. So whoever going to make use of this opportunity and enroll now, please type I am enrolling. Please type I am enrolling, or in short, you can type IME. IME stands for I am enrolling. So whoever enrolling now, whoever going to continue this learning journey, whoever going to take it to the next level so that you can become a lifelong learner and be equipped and prepared for what is there in the store for you in the future, set a strong foundation now on your fundamentals, and that's what this package is going to deliver for you. So whoever enrolling now and going ahead with continuous learning, please type I am enrolling, or in short, type IME. And if you still carry the dilemma whether you should enroll, whether you should learn, whether learning is required because you have completed your school, college, should I still learn? Let me give you a clarity. So this is one misconception which most of the working executives and professionals carry in their mind. They all believe that, excuse me, they all believe that learning is still schooling and college. See, till school and college, we have learned so many things basically to prepare ourselves for the real world. But the question is whether all of us have that 100% opportunity to apply exactly what we have learned. If you ask me, only 5 out of 100 will say yes. 95% they are pushed into the different ocean. You would have studied arts, but you will be working in finance. You would have studied engineering, but you will be working in banking. You would have studied some pure science, but because of your career opportunities, you are working in bank. So are you really applying what you have learned in your academic? Answer is no. So what is important is now, if you want to really rise up in your career, progress and move towards the next level, then you have to set a solid foundation on the domain you are into. You are in banking, you are in finance, so you should have a thorough knowledge on credit and financial analysis, which is considered as a brain activity in this entire banking and finance chain. Okay, so if you want to set a strong foundation, and if you want to grow further, and if you want to learn only what is practical and relevant and not something theoretical or academic or bullish, okay, go for this. Go for this package. 240,000 plus students have trusted us and enrolled in our various courses on banking and finance. So now it's your opportunity. If anything is good, it will not come free, it will not come cheap. Okay, and if you want to really reap the fruit, you have to sow the seed. Okay, so I'll wait back for next 10 minutes. Whoever completes their, or whoever going ahead with the enrollment, please type IME, I am enrolling. And whoever completes their enrollment, I'll be giving my live acknowledgement and assurance. And yes, already we have our first participant. Let me check out who is that. Let me go to my email where I'll be getting the copy of invoice. With that, I'll be able to give my acknowledgement. Let me see who is that. We have our first participant now. Yes, here we go. We have our participant number 1, that is Raja MR. Okay, that's for a different course. Raja MR went for 50 banking courses bundle, 50 banking courses bundle Raja Amar, wherever you are, can you please type I am in? Can you please type I am in? And we also have our next participant. Let me see who is our next participant. I just noticed an enrollment now. I think that's by Aishwarya Bhosle. Aishwarya Bhosle, wherever you are, can you please type I am in? Can you please type I am in? Aishwarya Bhosle. Yes, Aishwarya Bhosle, this is an acknowledgement. I have received your payment. Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks for the show up. Thanks a lot for the trust. Thanks for believing me and committing your hard-earned money. I wish to extend a warm welcome for you to our banking students community. I repeat, 240,000 plus students have enrolled in our courses across the globe. And today you have taken one of your critical step. So I really respect the trust which you have showed on me. Thank you so much. And you have put in your hard-earned money. You have invested your hard-earned money. And I'm very particular. You should get return on your investment at the earliest. For that, my request is please spend at least 45 to 60 minutes every day on these courses. These are all pre-recorded courses. You can access them anytime as per your convenience, So please spend at least 45 to 60 minutes. And in order to develop that habit of learning for next 11 days, try to stick to a particular time pattern. Okay, let's say your early morning or late evening, whichever timing that is convenient for you, try to stick to that time. And if you do so for next 11 days, it will become your habit of learning. And when you develop your habit of learning, then things will set in place. If you do it consistently for 11 days, then 12, 13, 14, 15 and all will happen automatically. It means over a period of 3 to 4 months, you'll be able to complete this entire package. And that will give you that much needed transformation that will enable you to see a better version of yourself, most confident and authoritative in credit and financial analysis. That's the assurance from my side. And in order that to happen, my request is you have to spend at least 45 to 60 minutes every day on these courses. So are you ready to give that quality time for yourself? Aishwarya, if yes, please type I am ready. Please type I am ready. I'll take that as your commitment. Here, this is a two-way process. Whatever I have to do, I've done from my side. And on your side, you have to give your quality time. You have to give your quality learning. Okay. Everything is done from my side as far as the course curriculum development, everything. On your side, give your quality time. Wonders will happen. And I could see Abhishek Kumar initiated the registration. Abhishek Kumar, and once again, Aishwarya, warm welcome to our banking students community. And Abhishek Kumar initiated registration. I'll just wait for 2 more minutes. And one more thing I just wanted to share. See, in every organization will come across that certain employees will be paid really high salary. And many will be wondering why they are paid really high salary. See, they are paid really high salary because they are the people who contribute to the profits of the business. That's the reason. They contribute to the profits. Their actions, their job will result in more and more profits for the organization. But the question is, how come they alone? It's because they have expertise in what they are doing. But how come they have developed expertise? They are also working for 8 hours. We are also working for 8 hours. How come they alone got that expertise? And for that answer is, see, they got that expertise because they have substantial knowledge. It means they have acquired substantial knowledge related to their job or business or profession, and they applied that in reality. So are you getting me? They contribute to the profits because they have expertise. How they got expertise? It's because they have acquired so much of knowledge related to their job, business, profession, and they applied it on the field. So application of the knowledge on the field helps them to acquire expertise. So now the question is, okay, applying in the field is okay, but from where they got the knowledge? See, your school and academic qualification alone will not give you the knowledge required for your job. Please take it. Please, all of you, realize this. In schools and colleges, yes, we have studied in school for 12 plus 2, 14 years, and graduation, post-graduation or professional program, we have spent another 5 to 6 years. But that is generic. You will not apply that alone in your job or business or profession. So you have to realize this, and you have to learn what is required for the real world. If you are in banking, if you want to grow in banking career, then you should have a strong hold on financial and credit analysis. So learn this. Wherever you find the opportunity, learn. I don't think so there is any such course or any such platform like what we provide for financial and credit analysis. Or you may have to go to big research institutions where the basic entry cost will be like 50 to 60,000 per person per day. And what we are giving is lifetime access to 25 courses at a price close to 5,000. Okay, so realize this. And here you are going to get 24/7 support. It's not that you just buy the course and our relationship comes to an end. If you're buying this course, if you're enrolling in this course, I'm giving you a lifetime accountability commitment. Because like you, there are 1,400 plus executives, bank executives who have taken up the same course, and they are in an exclusive group. And I monitor that group on a daily basis. We have mentors. They are basically chief managers at bank levels. They also give mentoring, they give guidance, they answer to the queries. So this is an opportunity which you are going to get, which many will not get in banking, I know. Banking, the brand system spread across and not getting the right mentor or not getting the right support. See, you may be strong in your internal policies, circulars, that's fine. But for everything, there is a funda, there is a fundamental, there is a foundation. If you are not going to be strong in that, if you're not going to be clear in that, then that will cause so many issues, okay? Especially in a profile like banking and finance. And yes, we have our next participant. So just coming back to that, let me just conclude that. If you want to get higher salary, if you want to grow in your organizational hierarchy, what is important is you should become a profit center and not a cost center. Profit center is possible when you acquire expertise in what you are doing. Acquiring expertise is possible when you have knowledge and when you apply the knowledge in the real field. But the question is from where you will acquire the knowledge. Is it possible by binge watching in YouTube and Facebook? Answer is no. Is it possible by just going through some random magazines and newspapers and TV news programs? Answer is no. They all will give you some hints so that you can keep yourself updated, but the fundamental foundation is very important. Okay, for that you have to undergo a structured learning. It should be either through a book or through an online course like what I have offered today, or it could be some workshops or seminars or webinars, but that should be exclusively focused on the domain. And that's what I offered today. And that's what I think Abhishek Kumar, Aishwarya, Raja MR have made use of and enrolled now. So once again, I repeat, if you want to really grow up in your organizational hierarchy or in your profession or business, learn what is required for that profession. That is the simple fundamental here. And here we have Abhishek Kumar. Abhishek Kumar, this is an acknowledgement. I have received your payment. So wherever you are, can you please type I am in? I am in. Abhishek Kumar, please type I am in. I am in, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Abhishek Kumar. I've seen your earlier responses as well. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your trust. Thanks for believing me, and warm welcome.